Let's go! And this is The Underground. What's going on, everybody? Good evening. Underground World News Live here on this March 5th, 2025. I think somebody dropped a membership earlier. Thank you for that. And Wake Up America, thank you for dropping the memberships right now. To all that received them, welcome to The Underground. Thank you for the feedback, John Boy. E. Fitz, good to see everybody. Cat Slave in the house. Bad Influence, Scotty D. Cat Slave. Craig, Raymond, Alex, Deanne, all the mods. Want to thank Kev Barr, Kenny G, Hoodie Ross. Thank you, Minx, Tooch, everybody that tacos that shares the stream, gets it out there. Thank you, Flip, Mookie in the house, Bones. I hope everybody's doing good, man. It's busy as usual. Plenty to go over. Thank you, my knights. T-Rex in the house. Geo. Much love, my brother. All right, so we'll start this off here with an earthquake update. It's been a minute. I don't always pull the screen up because sometimes it's online, sometimes it's not, but this site does a good job of tracking the bigger quakes. We have smaller quakes that happen all the time, all over the place, that just are not listed by many places. What I mean by that is like around Yellowstone, you may not see any kind of quake activity. But they've got their own like seismic sensors and everything set up around there where you can go to a site and you can track all the activity around the caldera of Yellowstone and all that. And you'll see that there's all kinds of microquakes, smaller quakes that are below a magnitude 1. Closest one we got here to Yellowstone today here is just outside of Salt Lake City, a 3.2. Decent sized quake south of Yellowstone. We had a 4.8, and look at this, we've got another one that's popped up, a 3.9 here just this evening outside of Seattle. If we got anybody in Seattle that felt that, anybody on the West Coast felt that, let me know in the chat, please. Thank you. Thank you for that super chat there, Star Fury. Salutes back, and a much love to all the purebloods out there tonight. Everybody fighting the good fight. I hope everybody's doing well. Again, if you guys feel any of this quake activity, let me know. Los Angeles, roughly the same, 3 to 4 magnitude quake. And go down here and point a couple things out. We have some insane swarming ongoing in New Zealand. There's nothing like it on the planet, so to speak. This place has been swarming now, just like this, for months. And we're starting to see a couple hot spots, so to speak, where larger quakes are swarming and starting to pop up, like right down here. And you're jumping from the like 1s and 2s, maybe 3s, up into the 4s and 5s. When this happens, and you see these mid-range quakes, as I call them. Now, Christchurch, this region, they've been rocked in the past. New Zealand has had one of the craziest series of earthquakes I've ever seen. It ejected the earth like up out of the ground, like up and out of the ocean, like 10 to 15 feet in some places, and like completely changed the geography of this region. I mean, it's wild. And you can see these quakes are just all over the place, out into the water, on land. And, if one hits here, wouldn't be surprised. I mean, just because of the swarming. But that swarming, the plus side to that is that it lets loose of a lot of that energy they can build up for the bigger quakes. See, out here where there's less swarming, you see the bigger quakes. If you follow this up, though, this goes into the most active region on the planet. You get out up here near Tonga, Papua New Guinea, this whole region right here. This is the most active earthquake region on the planet. And let me go across the water here real quick and point something out, because we haven't seen some quakes in a while of like 7 magnitude or greater. But years ago, I remember this region right here, this pinch point, Chile, right on the other side of the mountains here from Bolivia, Peru, southern Peru, this northern part of Chile. It's going to get hit, man. It's overdue. The last big quake was down here on the south side. The Andes run all the way up through here, and you have a plate that runs alongside it here. And it's overdue. Colleen, thank you for the coffees. Appreciate it to the fullest. This area, though, is overdue, just like the West Coast Cali quake. A big one that's overdue that they're expecting. Up here is a lot of the mining country. This is where most of the copper in the world is mined. It's also like the second largest or third largest lithium reserve mine in the world. And as I was saying earlier about smaller quakes releasing energy, they haven't seen that up here in a long time. So I'm going to put it out there that this region is going to see a big quake here in the offing. And it's going to be monstrous. Also, let it be known that, like, the biggest quake ever, like 9.5 or whatever, that struck down here on record was in this region. Then you've got the Alaska quake, but this is a spot to watch. It could rock this region. Just throwing it out there. All right, I'm going to keep it pushing here. Not a lot going on with space. I'm just going to jump into the economic stuff. We've got a report out of Europe that solar has kind of saved the day. This isn't surprising to me. I know the power that solar can do. Solar is key. You've got wind, you've got solar, but wind, it just doesn't, the way that they're doing it, it's just not feasible for the everyday person. If you've seen what it takes to have to get the concrete and the rebar put together just for the base of one of these wind turbines, just to hold it up, and then they're still falling over. It's crazy. Like, you could build a house for the price of all that metal and concrete. Then you got to maintenance them. Like, throughout the year, solar panels are different. Very little maintenance. Clean them off if it snows. Make sure they're tied down good, because I've had issues of high winds pick up panels and about knock you off a mountain. It ain't fun, but it happens. This windstorm also that just blew through here, I hope everybody's doing good. I hope you didn't take too much damage. It was an issue around here. High winds always like the biggest threat. And yeah, I don't know. I know a lot of people got hit with it. It's been one thing after another with these systems. Hopefully we can get in the spring here, get some warm weather. But when that happens, they're going to start throwing tornadoes at us left and right. And it's just been getting crazier. We saw a long track tornado rip across western Kentucky here in the past couple of years. That was devastating. And then other states just getting rocked. And then we have these events where multiple tornadoes are dropping. Like all kinds, dozens, dropping out of the sky. You'll see that like around a hurricane when it's approaching. But like outside of that, like in the spring, I hope tornado season's not a bad one, but you just kind of feel that it's going to be. I feel that the weather is a weapon. And it doesn't matter who's in office. There's these groups that got control of all this stuff that are, I don't know, it doesn't matter who's in office, period. Like, there's certain things that continue. Just like I was saying, people were saying right after Trump got in there, like, oh, the chemtrailing stopped, the skies are clear. And that was garbage. It continues like clockwork, meaning none of that stopped. And see, if the crowd doesn't say anything, if the Trumpers, so to speak, don't bring it up, if it's not an issue in their mind, then they're not going to bring it up. Nothing's even going to be said about it. All those programs are just going to keep on pushing. Again, they're serving them up so much winning over here that they're blinded by the atrocities they're slipping through, or they continue to go on. One thing that is positive, though, is that Trump is going against all the climate stuff. We know that there's an agenda out there tied to it. And, when it comes to Trump, it's kind of like, it's the good, the bad, and the ugly. Like, we call him out when we have to, and if he's doing something like this, we'll give him props. This is needed. We don't need to be going along with this agenda of playing the people. To me, it's just an attack against your God-given resources. The one thing God gave you, like wherever you live, if you've got, trees and coal and gas and things like that, they don't want you to tap into that. That's independence. Things are changing, though. You've got to wonder here. And there's a reset happening. It's been said multiple times here, an economic reset. On Trump's watch, all this, they've even announced it and said it out loud at this point. The big reset has not happened yet. I'm going to tie that to an economic event. Okay? Something that affects the banks or the stocks. Either way, your money. Something like that. Huge event, definitely in the offing. And everything is still positioned here to blame China for something big. We're going to get into that here as well tonight. But the policy of rejecting the climate agenda, this means all the Al Gore crap, all the carbon tax crap of tracking you and then putting regulations like your cows' emissions are too much and you got to pay this and that. It's all a scam. While they rip around the country in their jets, or around the globe in their jets, dumping more carbon than you will ever in your lifetime, than your whole family will produce in their lifetime. That's the hypocrisy with these goons. But, the world's a stage. It is a show, that's for sure. But to get us away from this, all the climate crap, that's a plus. But on the other side of the coin, let's talk about the warfare, the weather weaponry, because it's real. And again, everyone's caught up in so much winning, they're not sitting here asking valid questions about like this, about weather weaponry. Like, yeah, Trump went down to Asheville, and that was great because Biden wouldn't and all this and trying to help people out. He's playing that card. He's coming in from that side. At the same time, though, there's no talk about the weather weaponry or even a discussion of, look, what do we have at our disposal to stop some of the stuff? Like, what do we have to stop a hurricane dead in its tracks? Like, they don't even want to hear you say that. Like, what do we got to stop tornadoes in their tracks? They'll turn around and look the other way because they don't want to get the discussion going because they're smoked. Everything is right there. I mean, Brennan came out and told us, the former CIA head, he admitted that they're doing this. They're spraying the skies. And of course, we know this. There's all kinds of video and pictures and everything at this point of the planes themselves, all the switches, them turning them on and off while they're in flight, all of it. Like it's a real thing. So if people aren't hip to this, they're living under a rock, literally, or they're refusing to see it. People like that, people that refuse to see something as plain as day as them crisscrossing the sky with toxic stuff, and you're just like, oh, it's just planes. Like, I'm like so done with you. In your dumb mentality. Like, you don't even stop for a second to think outside of the box about any of it at any point. Wonder why you're sick all the time, got all these issues and all this, but get out of here. Look, a lot of these things continue because they're out of sight, out of mind, or people are just not talking about them. Like I said, talk about stopping some of these weather events. They just won't have that discussion because it brings up HARP, it brings up all these things that we know that they can do. Cloud seed, which we caught them doing before hurricanes, as a weapon. You only cloud seed ahead of a hurricane to flood everybody out. That's exactly what they did in Houston. I forget which hurricane, but it was Houston in Texas, and it sits low, so it flooded the whole city. And we caught them. We caught them doing this. That's my point. It's a weapon. The high wind, the rain bombs, steering the hurricanes all the way up to the damn mountains at hurricane force, all of it. Yeah. That's how I see it. All right, well, check this out. Energy, no doubt, is key. We all need power. If you ain't got power, you're not doing much, right? Kind of dead in the water, unless you're going to live like the Amish. Even them, they're rolling with some form of power. Just maybe not using all the stuff these days, but this is kind of crazy. When they come out and tell you that we want to be the leader in AI and crypto in the world, you can't ignore it. This comes with some caveats, with some things connected to it that are pretty big. Now, I want you to remember that when Trump made the announcement that these new AI centers are going to pop up all across the country, and he's commissioned them to build their own power plants on site. that's crazy. That is crazy. It's never been heard of before. Like, any company comes along, they're just tying into the grid. They're just getting the electric hooked up. Like, any. They're telling these AI specific groups, and thank you, John, for the coffee. They're telling them you've got to build your own power plant. And he mentioned that it could be nuclear. He mentioned that it could be, natural gas. He goes, they're even going to have the option of tapping into the coal. Is exactly what he said, of doing anything. What's this say? Texas needs the equivalent of, and this is just Texas, 30 nuclear reactors are going to be needed by 2030 just to meet the data center power demand. The data center for the AI infrastructure. That's how much power this sucks up. It's insane. I don't see how you can continue down this path without introducing a new form of energy. A game changer. It could be a new clean way to burn coal. Something insane that they've just been sitting on. And it would change the game. Or, just give us the Tesla energy. Tesla power. I mean, dude, if they're at a point here, you got to see they're resetting everything. It's happening right in front of you. If they're willing to do away with the IRS, for crying out loud, and because they're replacing it with the external revenue service, which the people are paying for. I'm going to get into that in a minute, but this is like all black magic. It's the only thing I know to call it, man, because it's illusion that they're playing on the people out here on so many things. But this is kind of crazy. Where are you going to come up with that much energy unless you build 30 nuclear reactors? You know how it just takes one to cause a Chernobyl. I understand we've got to have a certain amount of nuclear reactors in certain places, and we do. But, I don't know, man. There's dangers there that have to be taken into consideration. I definitely wouldn't want to be living in Texas and within, 20 square miles of me, I've got 3 nuclear plants. You're done if something happens, especially if you're downwind from them or downstream. It's not good. Just give us the Tesla energy, the free energy, right? Give us the free energy, 0 point energy. Just go ahead and roll it out. Let's get on with it. Because you're going to need it for everything. You're going to need it for so many different things coming up. I mean, just this alone shows you they would have to put nuclear plants everywhere. And, you can be done with that. You could be done with nuclear everything if this was to happen. You could. They're sitting on some good stuff, man. So this whole EV thing was a bust, right? Trump switching everything up, ordering the shutdown of all these stations across the country. And Elon's sitting there the whole time not saying nothing. It affects him greatly because this is part of his business. Everything depends on this. All the Cybertrucks that are their EVs or any of his Tesla vehicles that are EV, they have to charge, need a charging station. Taking all of them out of DC and the DC area, he ain't said a word about none of it, it affects him. So we come to find out that $95 million worth of EV buses were paid to a company that basically shut down, and this is a Canadian company, Canadian bus maker company, Lion Electric. They got all of this money, and they've never provided a single bus, and they've gone bankrupt. So they basically just got $95 million to roll with. Look, dude, all I can say, if somebody wants to show up here and be a grammar Nazi on something and be critical about something, of a word, and that be a bigger issue to you than the message that I'm trying to speak, you can get the out of here. right? I don't care if I hurt your feelings. You're going to come in here and try and nitpick me on a live stream on some stupid stuff in my chat? You're just going to get smoked. All right. So, you might have heard of Howard Lutnick here making these comments about Bitcoin and everything going on with Bitcoin. And there's some people don't know much about Bitcoin, don't care about Bitcoin. Whether you like it or not, I think it's here to stay. And I feel that it's only going to blow up from here. I can't help but laugh. Much love. Yeah, pretty stupid. All right, so I'm trying to keep one eye on the chat and one eye on the story, but I really can't do that much. That's why I depend on you mods to watch it. And I try to just keep my eyes open if I see an @Dabu77 pop up, and I respond to it. But it's kind of hard to keep an eye on both at the same time. Two different screens. But what I was saying here about this crypto, you've got to understand this is a growing thing and that it's not going away. And that this Friday, there's going to be the White House inaugural crypto summit. This is going to be pretty big. 5 years ago, there was nowhere around this much solidification around crypto. I've done warn to the high heavens the bad side of it. Blockchain. And it's not that blockchain itself is bad, but when used by bad people, it is. Just like any other thing out there, any other technology, anything you come across. If it can be used by bad people to do bad things, they're going to do it. Because you can store information in blockchain, in like log all types of stuff, medical information, all types of things on a daily basis, and be able to always go back to it and find it, and it never be manipulated because it can't be. It's a store of information like that will hold it forever. The downside of that is they're tracking your every move. Someone could say, well, not if it's this or that. Well, I don't care what you say about that. To me, anything technological, anything technology can be hacked and tracked and traced. It just kills me to hear these guys I hear, and they all think, this coin's private or it can't be tracked or traced or something like Monero's and others out there. And that's proven to be wrong throughout the years when they can track down pretty much anything and everything that they want. I mean, you're talking to the people that created this. And just because some out there fall for the illusion that they didn't, that's on you. Like, we've figured this out a long time ago, that the U.S. government created this. The NSA did, and it's actually built on a platform, a hash that they created. You understand this? They are Satoshi. It's the only reason that you can invest in it in this country. Because if it was a Chinese product or anything from a foreign agent or anything like that, there would be no way. They want the control. And it's their baby. Always has been. And it's played a pivotal role in getting everybody warmed up to blockchain. That's I could never get over that. I could never get over that right there, what I told you. That we got bad people here. They're not leaving, and you know what they're going to do with this. So you got to stop them from rolling this out around the globe. Well, it's happened. It's already there. We're just like a step away from going full scale here in the United States and the dollar and all of it. Thank you, Karen. We're just a step away. And this administration will be the one to do it. You mark my words. They've already begun it. And this is the scariest part. It's like we've warned about this stuff for years, but it don't matter. They used black magic to shake it off. Most of the Trump crowd heard us over the years, or caught wind at some point of a CBDC, and that's all that they really heard was a CBDC, and it was bad. They didn't want to take 2 seconds to do any research any further or like anything else, because if they would have simply just asked, why is it bad? They would have received the answer that it tracks and traces your every move, your privacy is gone, and all that. It's pretty simple, and they would have known. Maybe they do. Okay, but they ignored Trump pushing out Trump coin and backing WorldCoin and doing all the stuff that he's doing right now. They don't say a word about it. It's like he just handed you an executive order. You're sitting there holding it in your hands. It was made just for you. And it says, no CBDC. And you're sitting there, it's all shiny, and you're showing it off to everybody. You look over, and he's rolling out all this Bitcoin stuff. It's like, okay, like, you guys got anything to say? Can you see what he just did to you? He just roosted you. Okay? The whole reason you didn't like CBDC is because it's connected to a blockchain, and it would track and trace your every move. But under just a different name, under a different guise, with the other hand, he slid it right out and fed it to you, and you ate it. You probably even bought the Trump coin. Rushed out and bought it because they said so. But you lemmings. And because we have no free thinkers left out there for a majority of the audience, in this country, it's like we're smoked. They've got control of a majority of the crowd. They just need like 60, 70%. They're happy with that. As long as they've got them buffaloed, they're pushing through. They're pushing everything through. The rest of us can be over here calling it out. Don't matter at this point. I mean, unless somebody's got some major money and you want to do something, well, it's time to make moves. We're outnumbered at this point, and you got to have money if you want to go to war. So you better get your money right? And it seems like anyone out there that's got it, they're either scared or what? Scared. I'll call it like that. You're scared to go to war with the beast. And no one said anything crazy about attacking anyone, killing anyone, or anything like that. You're just scared. You won't even organize, do anything to get the people rallied to do anything. It's rather pathetic. Instead, we're being ushered around under the guise of a false man of peace, and so to speak, a false good guy, Elon Musk, and the Gentile Messiah, hand in hand here. It's insane. It's truly like on a biblical level. And it's not good. If it was good, I'd tell you it's good. I'm a realist. If it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. And all this is bad because they buffaloed the people. And even those to hear it, like, you have got to face the fire. You're living a lie. You can't even engage with people from here. You can't even carry on a legitimate conversation because when this gets brought up, you buckle. You don't have a leg to stand on, especially the CBDC thing. At all. You have nothing to stand on. You were buffaloed, shammed, admit it, call it for what it is. There's no other way to see it. It is what it is. Okay? But you won't do it. Most of you won't. If you have any integrity, you will. That's just raw, real, and that's simple. That's small potatoes. That's just getting started. That's just the first little thing. Okay? There's major things going on here. I want to keep it pushing here. The whole Bitcoin thing, though, look, they come out and they said no taxes on this stuff. If you're trading a stock, let me make it clear. If you're trading a stock, all that's tracked and traced. You dig? It's all tracked and traced. Your every move. Everything you use your bank card for, your debit card, okay, everything's tracked and traced for the most part anyway. Your only freedom left is fiat currency. And it always will be. It always will be something you can hold in your hand. Because once that's removed from the system, it's over. It's over. Now, I don't think states are going to allow that here. I know some are positioning to not let that happen. They've actually turned the gold and the silver back into accepted legal tender. And they've done away with the taxes on them, on gold and silver, because it's considered money. So, I know everyone is looking for a way out. You want out of this mess, out of the slave cycle and system. And trust me, I find a way to do everything I can to show you the way. Okay? If this is an opportunity for someone to trade gold and silver with no tax and you to make money, I would take advantage of it. I don't know of any other way, any other physical asset to tell you to invest in like this that's not going to be taxed. Not even land, not even cars, baseball cards. It doesn't matter what it is. You're buying and selling, trying to trade. It's all going to have a tax on it, except for gold and silver at this point and American-made crypto projects, which is crazy. I think all this is going to be laid out at this crypto summit in finer detail. And when big news hits, it drives the market, okay? And there could be an explosion. I think at some point you're going to see it run back to a high, blow up past 100,000, set a new high up toward 120-some thousand. It's the name of the game. And I don't see how it doesn't in this climate. Anyhow, the money's to be made there, and it's not just in buying something and holding it. It's in shorting. I'm telling you, it's in shorting. Everything comes down. There's so much money to be made there, but they don't teach anyone. I think Elon Musk said like 0.001 of the population even knows that it exists. And even that's too much for him. He doesn't like it because it gives the peasant a chance to actually get some pennies, some peanuts, off of his billions. Like somebody throws a short on Tesla, he doesn't like that. You know, every stock goes up and down a little bit every day. It all bobs up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And he just didn't even like the fact that on one of them little downturns that you made a few peanuts. That's how this man is. He's not here. Remember, we called him out years ago on like world hunger and everything, and he came back with this freaking bullcrap excuse, trying to throw these numbers out there and this and that it wouldn't work, blah blah blah, and like he's made not even an attempt to do nothing. So it was just garbage. They have no want to help people for the positive, man. You'll tell them by their fruits. It's a big trap. I've been around the game long enough. It's everything we ever warned about. They're walking the people right into it. We got Jade Helm that we warned about. It's live right now. And like, I don't know. People are so caught up with winning that like, I don't know. Wait till the bombs start to blow up. I mean, we just had a dude blown away by an IED down at the border, a Texas citizen. You know, people just ignore it, looking right past it. Like, you just wait till more car bombings, beheadings, all this stuff just starts to pop off. The military's down there full force for a reason right now. This is going to be a war zone. It's going to spill into America. This place is going to become, it is a frontline war zone. You're crazy if you think they're going to contain it when everybody and their mama just ran up in here for 4 years. They're here. They're all over the place. They start striking cartels down there, you're going to see this thing go crazy. Okay? That's a whole nother animal. I guess we'll pick back up on that when things escalate. Let me jump into the tariffs real quick. Trump is a businessman, no doubt, and he's known for his business moves. I always say it, he strong arms these people. And, Mr. You're Fired from the TV shows, and puts out this macho aura, mafia style, if you will. And it works for him. It's worked thus far. Here on the world stage. But the world's a stage, man. The world is a stage, so they're all going along with this. The tariff thing, though, is not what it seems. Most people are thinking, I don't know, they don't care. They hear tariff and they think, oh, well, that's Mexico's problem. That's Canada's problem. No. It's your problem. It's all of our problem. Because again, black magic. For some reason, all the crowd seems to think that tariffs are not going to hurt them. Black magic, again, at its finest. Why? 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 Why do they think this way? No one ever lied or said anything else. They just immediately, instantly thought that. The whole crowd. Explain to me that. Go ahead, I'll wait. Hmm? Or do they know and don't have the kahunas to even say anything to their Gentile Messiah? This is getting scary. It's a doom and gloom chat, huh? Nah, it's pretty good around here. Peaceful waters, most of the time. Bear with me, Trump says. Both farmers and consumers are about to brace for tariff effects. And again, if you're tuning in and you don't like what you hear, you're free to leave. You don't have to come back. I don't pander to nobody. It's the real around here. And I'm not a Trumper. And I didn't vote for Biden or Kamala. Get out of here. I'm beyond that. I'm levels above that. Okay? If you're lost in there, you're lost in the maze still. In the left-right paradigm. And I'm here to pull people out of it. And usually when you wake up to it, it's a violent thing. It's not a fun thing. Because you realize you've been played and lied to. And all the stuff you believed in was a fraud. You're not alone. It's happened to all of us that have woke up. Really awakened. They even hijacked woke, to bring it down. To hijack anything. Right? But look what this says. Trump says farmers and consumers brace for tariff effects. He says, bear with me. Why would he say that? Because you're about to get hit hard. Everything that you buy is about to go through the roof. Every single thing. To ground beef, to wood, to your toilet paper, to everything. The price of corn, wheat, soybeans, everything. Everything. You thought it was bad under Biden-inflation. Okay, which hasn't gone away. Now it's about to be compounded. Now you're about to pay more. And yeah, people voted for this. Are they going to hold him accountable? How far are they going to let this go? Until they finally see what's happening and call it for what it is. Burn their MAGA hat. Can't you see it's the government is the government, dude? It's the beast. And their masters are playing both sides and always have been. Reagan, Bush, who play the other side, Clintons. Come on. I know most of you that follow me, like all the time, you are hip to this. It's the newbies that we're working on. And look, I come off like Sergeant Slaughter sometimes. That's just me. I'm real. I have to keep it real. I see through the crap. I'm not going to sit here and pussyfoot it, sugarcoat it, none of that. I ain't got time for it. So when you walk in here and you see some of these things, hear some of these things, you're like, what? Like, yo, this is the real deal, though. This is what we do. We put discernment on this, and, well, we talk about the real. As Hoodie Ross always says, chew up the meat and spit out the bone. Take the good from it, get rid of the bad, and keep on pushing. Okay? So I want you to know, end of the story with the tariffs. We're paying for it. And that's it. Where we at here? Quarter till top of the hour. We're going to go to the Air Force recruitment under Trump soaring to a 15-year high. Now, in the world that we were taught, this is a good thing. On the surface, this is a good thing, okay? Especially after everything that we just went through. But this isn't what it is. when you get to this level and you're fully there, seeing it for what it is, why would you ever let your child or anyone sign up for this military to go kill other people somewhere else when you've done figured out that the problem is here, sitting in D.C.? Men didn't have computers and internet and couldn't figure all this stuff out decades ago. So they were going and giving their lives fighting these wars. But now we're smart enough to know this. You should be. Information sitting right there at your fingertips. You know it. It's obvious right in front of your face. You see where the corruption sits. You see that these are wasted, useless wars. Men, a whole generation just got crossed out in Ukraine. Like, it's happening in Gaza. Let's go clear it out. People don't care. Like, where's the... it always comes back to this. The people that voted for this. Like, where are you at on all these issues? Parker, thank you for the coffee. That is the best way to support the show, and I appreciate it to the fullest. My point is, it's good to see recruitment back into our military service. We've got to have our country protected. But, man, I'm already at an elevated point to where, the world's a stage, man. Like, I'm there. Like, I see it for what it is. Like, they create and control terrorists. Come on. Like, we're there. Okay, come on. Like, it's shenanigans. Why be a part of it and have that on your soul to go kill some other people? Join the military to do that. I don't know if I'll ever see it in my lifetime, but I've been waiting to see the group that took an oath that said that they were going to defend this country against threats both foreign and domestic. And I'm wondering if they'll ever rise in my life. Anyone that ever took that oath that knows that the threat's here. I salute anyone that rides against the beast. And that dies in the process. They've murdered everybody. Everyone you can think of. John Lennon, JFK, RFK, JFK Jr., Pac and Biggie, you know, the list goes on and on. All these people, the real Gaddafi, they'll stop at nothing. And if Gaddafi, one of the world's richest men, most powerful leaders, could not defeat the beast, then who can wage war with the beast? I put it in the hands of one because I have faith in this Most High. That higher power will have to, liquidate this place. Smoke them out of their holes under the ocean, wherever they want to hide. It's not going to be some single man that comes along here these days, It doesn't. A Gentile Messiah, so to speak. There's so much evil here. Is anyone going to ever rise against it? Or you get to a point where you have to accept that no one is going to rise up against this. That you're on your own. No one was ever going to come to the rescue. Yeah, we could talk spiritually about the Messiah, Jesus, in that. Like I just said, I put my faith in one, in the Most High, the only one that could do it. But it's like there's no cavalry coming. There's no white knights coming. There's no militia group of patriots rolling up to save the day like the A-team in your freaking neighborhood. It ain't happening. And unless you want to be the change that you seek, that's the only way it's happening. That's what I've learned. Everyone else is just talk. And this country's been broke down. There's not a means to do it. Everywhere I look, everyone's Everyone's suffering. The only ones that are making like millions of dollars, like getting ahead and not being censored and being promoted are the shills, are the ones that are down for the team. So that's the difference. The biggest difference between the real and the fake. The real do not get promoted. They get heavily censored. They're not promoted at all. They're not talked about in those circles anywhere. The shills, they're blasted everywhere, every day, in every feed, all the time. Do you understand that? And that's the real. You can just go look and you can see them. They'll tell them about the fruits. Kave, thank you for the coffee. And again, that is the best way to support the show. I appreciate it to the fullest. Thank you for the support. Thank you for prayers. I appreciate all of it. Everyone that shares the stream. I appreciate it. Make sure you're following me on X as well, guys, for updates, stuff I kick out. If you're over there, anymore. I hate all social media, it seems. I'm just... Man, when you've been doing this as long as I do, I see so many shills popping up these days, and especially on X. It's like, it's just disgusting. So many people that are just in it for the money, and they post for money, and that's the number one gold rule you don't do. Other people just doing it for ego and fame and all this other stuff, and it's like just blasting their face out all about themselves. It's just disgusting, man. Dudes pandering to other people, going over and just commenting on their posts, just to get recognized. Go comment on Elon or go comment on something, the stupidest little thing, just to get noticed. It's disgusting, man. Like where I'm from, dudes get waxed. You doing some stuff like that. But no, out here in social media world, where no one, where everyone can get away with doing whatever they want, little keyboard warriors, they do whatever. It's different in the streets. See, I'm someone I'm from the streets, and I've ran the streets. I'm always in the streets. You won't find me. It's in the streets, and I've been like that always. I get sick of seeing the fakes and seeing them excel. I knew when I seen cats like Tim Pool and all them getting promoted during the Biden regime, when like the rest of us are getting demonetized and shut down and all this other stuff. Like, what's the difference? What's the difference between me and you? Huh? Yeah, I know. We already found out. They were getting cut checks and making millions. Yeah, you better know your enemies. These shells out here. And everybody around them is hanging out with them on their live streams. And every single one, I don't care who they are, what their name is, any of it. All of them. I've met almost all these cats. When you see a person, you introduce yourself, you say something, you go to shake someone's hand, you say this and that, and like the read you get on them, the vibe you get, the look you get back, and everything else, it says a lot. And I've done it with almost all these cats. So, like, I've been there. I've known them in the flesh. All these cats pulling up, talking about all these, man, these cats are fakes. If they's real, I'll tell you, man. There's very few real cats out there these days, man. Very, very few. And most people that I encounter out there just want to use me anyway. They just use me for what I've created, what I do. So many flakes out there. It's been ridiculous, man. And I've met, I've in this life, millions of people probably. Traveling across this country, through the streets, all these places throughout the years, live streaming, doing all this, man, holding events, doing all this, man. I've met so many people. And, I don't know. It's truly just a remnant, man. I don't give up faith in meeting good people. I want to meet new and more good people. I know you're out there listening. But, man, just to find you. I've had to go through some hell. Yeah, well, it's worth it just to find even one, right? Reminds me of the story of Lot that I said the other night. Go down and find this one righteous person in the city. Would you save it? Well, he took the righteous person out and he smoked the cities. We need more of that. I'm ready for the cleansing. I'm ready for the harvest, the separation of the wheat and the tare. I'm ready for it all, front and center. I'm ready for big action. The Godhead's going to come, touch down, wipe this place out and smoke it, judge my soul, give me a new body. I'm putting the work in for it now. I hope you all are. If you didn't think you're just going to live your life and I don't know what everyone's thinking, but I believe that there's something that created all this, and it's watching everything. Thank you, IQ, for the memberships, and welcome to the underground, everyone that received it. I believe whatever made this is watching. Just like if you made something, you would observe it. And I don't look to disappoint. So, I'm going to keep it pushing here. IRS going to fire half of its 90,000 strong workforce. And it's like, okay, bring it on. But there's a restructuring here that's happening. They're going to make so much money from tariffs, from us paying more on the goods. Us. We're the ones about to pay for it. That they don't need an IRS. They don't need to tax you over here. Why do you think Trump just said, bear with me? Okay? Because everyone is about to feel this. Every single thing that you purchase and buy everywhere, everyone's about to feel it. And he's like begging them, like, bear with me here. Bear with me. And it's like, bear with you till what? Till you eliminate the IRS? Because this is a double tax in the meantime. Mock, man, brother, I love you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Hope all is well. So I mean, come on. It's a double tax being put on the people. Like, just do away with the IRS. If you're going to enforce this tariff thing, it's one or the other. I mean, that's what he said, right? But no, all of a sudden we're stuck with both in the meantime. We're getting double whammied, man. Again, where's the Trumpers on this? Can anybody expedite this up to Trump and ask him what the is going on? Dear Mr. President, tell me what to do. Huh? See, right around here. See, we call out the real. Everyone else is walking around like, oh yeah, lost in the smoke. Meanwhile, we're over here figuring out we're getting double taxed, double whammy. Yeah, thank you for the coffees again, guys. Appreciate it to the fullest. Okay, check this out. FBI DOJ headquarters may be sold off as part of a government property purge. I put out a map and an image showing all these places, and man, it seemed like a lot across the country, and it's like, I feel like there's something more to it. I'll circle back around to it when I gather all the evidence and the material. I know there's something there to it. Because they got to be positioning somewhere, and you got to be setting up shop somewhere. You got to be doing something. If they're retreating out of complete areas, we should make note of it. All right, man. I've got a disappointing one here. I got to say, it's a bit horrific, and the Indiana Jones in me, the adventuristic, it's going to find ancient stuff that's hidden in the jungle and all that. What's the closest place that I could go? The truth, I could hop in a car and I could drive to a place like that. Sure could, right down Mexico. Where there's a whole freaking ancient civilization just hidden beneath the jungle that they don't want you to see. Of course, they got their big sites people can go to in this snap, but I'm going to tell you, Mexico is a war zone. It has been. I have my Mexican friends that won't even take me down here. Did you hear me? My Mexican people won't even take me down here. Won't even go down here. What's up with that? Because it's so dangerous. The people that they know, family members, others, you got to check in to half these other places, gangs, okay? In Jalisco and all these other places, especially Sinaloa, like they're controlled by gangs. The check-in and all this is different with the towns and the neighborhoods, but my guy's got people in Jalisco, like, just to go and see his mama and to see people that are down there. Like, he has to check in and go through all these stringent things. And people getting murdered left and right. He telling stories about it. Like you don't wear nothing down there. Like, you don't get off at the airport to go to wherever and, like, come off wearing your Gucci and your diamonds or anything. Because they'll have kids sitting there on benches watching. When they see, they're just waiting. They're just waiting for somebody like you to come rolling up. And if they see something that looks like money, they're on it. They're paging, they're calling, and they get a team that tracks you in your vehicle all the way back to your hotel. And they kick in the door at the hotel. And they'll rob you right there, and they'll murder you right there. This is what's been happening. They'll murder you right there on the beach. They'll roll up on jet skis and rob you. Okay? Like, we've reported all this. Now, 9 students disappeared on vacation in Mexico, found dismembered. This pisses me off. Innocent people getting killed pisses me off. So they get chopped up. All their hands get cut off. It's bad. And this is happening left and right. So, what I've seen out of the president in Mexico is that she is caught in a position where they're obviously like, we're going to kill you if you don't support us against the United States. And it's like the Mexican people are, like, left out of the conversation. And, like, that's what I hear from everyone. They're being used. Like, this is bad. This is just bad, man. John Boy, thank you. It's like being caught between a rock and a hard place at this point now. And the front line is now our southern border. It's this country. They brought the war to us. Remember, on day one, we were in a national emergency. Day one, man, of this Trump administration. They continue to bring a lot of heavy machinery down to the border. If I had the means and if I get down there, I'd love to be able to cover the border, but I don't. I just feel like camping out down there in the right areas for a week or so, cameras, all this other stuff, it always reveals a lot. Now, at this point, the border itself kind of drying up because so much military hardware is getting stacked up down there. So what are we seeing? They're coming in on boats. They're coming in on boats, man. Much love, John Boy. Thank you again. And everyone that got gifted a gift to the underground. Welcome to the underground. David Jenkins, much love, brother. Look, man, I don't want no one to get killed out there. People have their differences. But even though my worst enemies, I wouldn't want them... Depending on what they do, So if somebody goes out there and they want to kill somebody, well, then you deserve, live by the sword, die by the sword, right? You can go murder someone, then you deserve the repercussions of that in prison. If they're gonna lethal inject you or firing squad or whatever it is, people should just walk righteous, man. We wouldn't have this problem. This place is like 95% evil and like 5% good at this point. Can't even go on a vacation down in Mexico without getting family slaughtered. It's ridiculous. You want to know something? We found ancient stuff down there on satellite. And I've been wanting to go and show you. Can't go. Probably end up dead. Sometimes you gotta weigh the options. You know what I'm saying? Like, get the story, end up dead. Get the story, end up dead. You know, so. All right, I'm gonna go to this next one. We're gonna keep it pushing here. Where we at? Past top of the hour. All right. Dive into some of the more political stuff here, and I'm gonna hit one here on O'Keefe, James O'Keefe here catches this guy from State Farm, the State Farm VP, talking about the victims, that they didn't need to be there. Their houses didn't need to be there anyway. Like he's some part of some high council that made these decisions, and that they didn't need to be there anyway. They were living there because of their ego and all this other crap, running his mouth and then saying that we're not hiring any white people anymore and proud of it. And he's white. And this is what I can't stand. These people that sell their own kind out. I don't care who it is, what it is. If you can't stand for your own self, your own kind, then like you're nothing. You're nothing. You're a betrayer of betrayers. A backstabber of backstabbers is what you are. A sellout of sellouts. It could be any color, anything can fill this position. But this is just ridiculous and pathetic. So I'm going to play this piece. Let this clown speak on it a little bit and let you get a feel for what's going down here. Oh, it's going to load it up on Instagram. All right, here we go.
There should never be houses built where like people want to be built in areas where they have like natural areas around them for their ego, but they're also it's a desert.
Hayden Kirkpatrick is the Vice President of Innovation and Venture Capital at State Farm. Hayden states they're moving away from hiring white people, wanting to hire more Hispanic and Latinos, getting towards the 2040 workforce.
I personally, I tasked my HR team with finding me, because I'm Native Asian. I go, you need to find me the talent profile of the workforce of the future. I want the 2040 workforce. Mm-hmm. So go map for me the demographic profile of America in 2040, more Hispanic and Latino.
Oh, to your own home, you say?
Oh, wait a minute.
Hayden Kirkpatrick, Vice President of State Farm, revealed why State Farm pulled their policies from homeowners in California.
It seems like it's all, I don't know, orchestrated.
I mean, it kind of is, but not in the way that you would
Think.
Our people look at this and say, we've got like maybe $5 billion that we're short if something happens. We'll go to the Department of Insurance and say, we're overexposed here. You have to let us catch up our rating. Mm-hmm. And they'll say, because the Department of Insurance and the insurance commissioner is an elected position in California. Mm-hmm. He'll say, nah. And we'll say, okay, then we are going to cancel these policies.
OMG has investigated the disasters in Southern California recently.
All right. Oh my gosh. Cash Heart. No way. Cash Heart, thank you for those coffees. You to the fullest there. To the fullest. That you heard the guy say it there himself, even to his own kind, whites. It speaks for itself there, man. And again, yeah, thank you so much, Cash. That the support there, huge, man. And coffees. Did I miss something over here in the chat real quick, John Boy? Probably coffees. Probably coffees. You want to know what supports me more? He says, so we know. Much love again. Super chat or coffees. It's probably coffees because any super chat just gets tied in to like YouTube stuff, and they take like 50% of all the money. So, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, much love for all the support though. And I want to update here real quick on Carrie Lake. We knew that she was going to land somewhere in the Trump administration, but it was like no major role. Well, here she is. She's sworn in as Trump's senior advisor to the U.S. Agency for Global Media. Yeah, you talk about having places that shouldn't exist and stupid positions and all this stuff they're supposed to be cutting. Well, I told you, it's like almost just make up a spot. Just give it some fancy name to get her in there. That's what they did. So, yeah, she's sworn in as the senior advisor to the U.S. Agency for Global Media. Okay, so it's just crazy because we knew she was going to get in there. All these faces, all these likable faces, as I call it, that they pushed out there. They know this. Their algorithms and all this, it tells them what the people are liking and clicking on and all this other stuff. So they built a team tailored just for their liking. Can't you see it? Tell me you have the eyes to see it. Okay, so we have a congresswoman here that is making some moves. I've been watching what's been going on here with what's been called out off of the X account connected to this congresswoman, but she's backing a lot of it up. She called out Pam Bondi on the Epstein things when no one else would. She just flat out did it, like you're stonewalling us, like all this other stuff. Now she is sending Congress criminal referrals on mayors of sanctuary cities that are refusing to cooperate. So, sanctuary city that's holding illegals, okay? Illegals, murderers, rapists, kill and rob all our families, whatever. Like, yeah, sanctuary cities where they finding, sanctuary. They're being protected. All these mayors are targeted now for criminal referrals and an investigation, and Homan done said his ICE teams will take them down. So now everything is on the table for them to send teams into towns and cities and literally take their mayors out, man. And look, there's a problem. There's a problem when people are out here trying to get illegals out of the country, and you call a place up and you're like, yo, we heard that you've got like 24 of these Tren de Araguas in your jails. Holding them right now downtown. Is that true? They're going to tell you. Anyway, also, we heard that you've got, and just go down a list. And they're going to tell you yes or no that they're there. And then you're going to be like, okay, well, we're going to come down there and we're going to pick them up. Is there, we just want to give you guys the heads up. We're going to come down there and we're going to take them people out of y'all's custody. And we're going to get them out of the country. And then they tell you, no. Hold up. What? No. Well, what are you going to do? Hold them there forever? They're going to say, no, we're going to release them back into the streets, which is what they've been doing. It's insanity. So, who's calling the shots down here in this city? Well, it falls back on the mayor. That's where it's going to come down to. And then the governor of the state. You see where this is going? So that governor's going to have to step up and override this mayor and make some moves in these cities. Or these mayors are going to get taken out. You're about to see it. I told you, man, get a camera crew out there. It's going to be like Cops. Like, but all new. All new. It already is. I'm getting emails from people, and some of you guys, you've already seen it. You've seen the ICE teams already rolling up into your neighborhoods, into your jobs, into your business. And you don't like it. It's kind of ominous, right? Well, let me see here. Which one is this?
Gentlemen's time's expired. Chair recognizes Dr. Fox from North Carolina.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mayor Johnson, in the last 4 years, how much has Chicago spent on care for illegal aliens?
Thank you for that question, Congresswoman. So since 2022, since the governor of Texas began
Just
shipping...
tell me a number. I don't need a speech. Just tell me a number.
So since 2022, since the governor of Texas was shipping individuals to cities across this country, the city's budget, roughly 1% of the city's budget over the course of 4 years.
Mayor Johnston, the same question, and I don't need a speech, just a number.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Thank you, Congresswoman. It's $79 million over the last 2.5 years.
Mayor Adams, same question. How much has New York spent to care for illegal aliens?
Approximately $6.9 billion went out of our taxpayers' funds.
Mayor Wu, same question. How much has Boston spent to care for illegal aliens in the last 4 years?
We do not ask about immigration status and giving city services and providing that access, so we do not have a number.
You see how this goes? Did you hear what New York City said? He stepped up. He said 6.9 billion. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been bamboozled. This is ridiculous. That it could ever get to this level. Yet it has. Insane. Okay, and this woman, they tried hard. They thought that they were going to just throw Bondi out there and it was going to stick and everything was going to be all good. You are not truthful. You're not honest. And she's someone that came out and said that I've got the whole Epstein thing on my desk. Like, why would you have ever said that? Like that, okay? Then she says, this is everything we got, 120 pages. This is everything we got. That's it. That was her next statement. And it's okay. Then why did you hand out binders to your shills that said phase 1? What's in phase 2? And if there's a phase 2, that means there's more than what you just said. So she's been caught in lies already. And it doesn't make her look good. And I'm sure they don't like this. Oh, well. You know, the clips showing her her history in Florida, I guess, the Florida AG, where she was before this, exposes her as being a fraud too. Where she put laws into motion where they could just go take the guns from people and ask questions later. In events, she pushed it. Okay? She did. Right? So, she's not righteous. In none of these, I've seen her walk into the whole Congress thing the other night when Trump was speaking, and they all walk in. They announce them. They're like, ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump's cabinet. And they all walk in, RFK. All of them come in. She comes in. They all, like they're stars or something. It's like, smiling and all this stuff and just laughing about everything. And it's like, man, this should be some serious business when we're in this building talking. But yet you're all just like hamming it up, every one of you. It was just sick. Knowing how fake she's already checked out to be, I expect more from here. Oh, and guess what? They just tried to go after Chuck Schumer with an open investigation for all his corruption. You know how all this time we've been asking for someone to go to jail, like we investigate someone, like someone Pelosi, like we freaking do somebody. Well, they went after Schumer. Guess what? Guess who stopped it? Your brand new Pam Bondi. she shut it down. So what are you really doing here, Bondi? It seems you're protecting the crew. And it's rather obvious. And again, why would Mossad control agents release information exposing a Mossad operation? Let's switch gears. A lot of these protests that have been hitting the street are trying to chant, with the anti-Israel, free Palestine thing that we had seen here this past year. And we knew that, get over the name, because they hijack names. The Free Palestine thing was being funded by George Soros. I mean, this is exactly what they did with Black Lives Matter. They're not stupid. They go in and capitalize off of names and slogans like this. If you want to say anything about anything, and you're an anti-Semite, right? Like, we're so past their game here. Anyhow, they're still pulling it on everyone out here. Trump is doing something that we should pay attention to. You have a right to protest. You have a right to assemble. And the moment they try to do away with that, we have problems. What we've had protests across this country for how many years? I've gone to city after city, watching them protest and burn them down. Black Lives Matter, all this stuff, yeah. We have righteous protests that have taken place too. With truckers and bikers and there wasn't a million people ever showed up in D.C., but the mask marches, the Anons and stuff we've done over the years. It's all protest. And what Donald Trump is saying is he's saying that if these agitators want to illegally protest at any college, that they will strip the funding to that college. They'll label it anti-Semitism. Like the whole thing with Columbia University here. That's exactly what they would call it, and they would attack it like that. And they will expel the protesters. Okay? They're going to expel them. And if they're from somewhere else, they're going to be shipped out to that place. Now, he was not specific on what made these protests illegal. That's what people like sitting on the sidelines watching are sitting there saying, like, hold on. Like, okay, we get what you're saying over here, trying to use the whatever card, and TNF in the house. Much love. Thank you, my brother. Much love. But the people that are critical of this watching are like, hold on, what is the justification for any of this? Just the fact that they're coming out and they're saying, free Palestine, it's against Israel. And that right there, them saying free Palestine is anti-Semitism and that the funding will get cut. Well, that's pretty much what he's saying. Yeah. Yep. He says American students will be permanently expelled or, depending on the crime, arrested. No masks. Thank you for your attention on this matter. Other than saying that the protesters should not wear masks, Trump did not go into detail about what could render a protest illegal. And that's my big question. You have to watch this. It's a fine line, man. People should be protesting righteously right now and flexing their rights. Use it or lose it. We're so screwed. They've tried so long, so hard to get to this point. They've got it here. They've got the majority of the crowd where they want them, which is the scariest part. Which, to me, that means the big event is like right here. They're about to do this big event where they're about to switch everything, a reset. It has to be economic. It has to be tied to the money in the banks. It just has to be. Duh. So it's about to happen, no matter what it is. If you guys missed this, this thing is crazy. He's in there, and they play off the show. The Democrats all sit on one side. They sit there all stone cold faced, and they don't smile. They don't clap for nothing. Not even the kid that got up there that had brain surgery. It survived cancer and none of this. Like, they held these little signs up, like this character. It says Elon Steals. Trying to find some of these other clips here. Guess we'll just go with this one. We'll start with this one.
An executive order to ban men from playing in women's sports. Years ago, Peyton McNabb was an all-star high school athlete, one of the best, preparing for a future in college sports. But when her girls' volleyball match was invaded by a male, he smashed the ball so hard in Peyton's face, causing traumatic brain injury, partially paralyzing her right side and ending her athletic career. It was a shot like she's never seen before. She's never seen anything like it. Peyton is here tonight in the gallery, and Peyton, from now on, schools will kick the men off the girls' team, or they will lose all federal funding.
That's one of the things that I say was like a common sense thing. Like, how did we ever get to this point? And you go back and you look like, oh yeah, the Biden regime. All the stuff they inserted and everything that was twisted in that time frame. To ever let a man that is so, the anatomy of him and the physical ability is so much beyond a female with the strength and all this. Every record in the world for speed and everything is held by a male. And like, even as he said, the long distance running thing, if they did, the record for the guy was like 5 hours ahead of the woman, just because of the capabilities, this way we're designed, of strength and all that other stuff. And he said that you should never have an unfair playing field, because that's what you have. And it's true. You should never have it's to me, it's like shocking. Like, dude, like, find me the coach, find me the people that allowed this to happen. Like, you got some problems, man. I'd be seriously looking up and see if some of these people were pedophiles and all this other crap. Like, you got to have a certain mentality just to let this fly. You hear me? I don't know you hear me. You got to have a special kind of mentality if you're going to let some man go out there and beat up on women and smoke them and all this stuff and just let it go. That's scary. Again, maybe I come up a different way, different place. Where I come from, if this was seen in any high school in the areas where I grew up, someone was getting waxed. That's what it was like when I grew up. If anybody even attempted to do that, because that was someone's sister that was getting screwed over. That was someone's, whatever, girlfriend, whatever. And it just wasn't going to fly. It wasn't going to fly. Coaches and teachers, it would not fly. It just blows me away that they got it through in some of these other places. And then I question the mentality of the people that let it. The leadership that let it. You need to go take a good look over there. That's right. Guarantee you're going to find something. Yeah, all right. Let's go to this next one here. Let's go to the Panama Canal. Real quick. Let's just touch on it. It's not that exciting, but it's a crucial spot here on the world stage. It really is. It's where stuff transit and goes through every day to get to America and from America to other places without having to go all the way down and around the bottom. And thank you for that, TNF. Yeah, I touched on some of that earlier. Panama Canal has been purchased by BlackRock. BlackRock's purchase of Hong Kong-owned Panama ports marks a victory for Trump's America First. So, I guess there's 4 different main points here. They go through the canal, and they were being influenced heavily now by China, and he wanted to change that. And, BlackRock buying a piece there obviously is a huge move that shifts that into BlackRock's hands. Ike, man, much love. Let's see, is it Canadian? Much love. This USA thing has exposed a few things. And I keep asking, when is somebody going to go to jail for any of this? Nobody will. It's black magic. They're telling you we've been ripped off, robbed, everything. I'm just waiting for the gold not to be in Fort Knox, all of it. And nobody is going to jail. They're not even talking about it. Black magic. It's out of sight, out of mind. They just don't mention it. And they're telling you the billions and billions and billions and billions. And even here, that they funded terrorism through it. Elon's just come out saying all these things. But like, who's going to jail for this? It's not mentioned, man. How can it not be mentioned? Say, hello? I swear to you, it's black magic. All this, it's the only thing it could be. There's no other way it could be pulled off like this. They come out and tell you all these things, and they're covering up all their criminal deeds, like right in front of you, and it's designed to look like transparency. It's insane, and it's working. You've got to have discernment on you, or someone like us, that they can see it for what it is. The rest of the people are just so blind and stupid. Their stupidity is what makes this work, unfortunately. And they're banking on that. Look at this one. FBI informant. Guys, hold on. It's about to go down. Let me tell you something. Son, if you're listening, you mess with me, you're gonna get it, son. You understand me? If you're listening, you piece of shit. You understand? Yeah, they're out here in the middle of nowhere, spotlighting my window in the middle of nowhere. All right? So, it is what it is. Whatever happens, happens. Whoever falls, dies. Right? Let me tell you something, dude. I know, dude. I gotta catch my breath. Yeah, I had the mic muted, so you guys probably didn't hear anything. It was a silence. Son, if you're listening, dude, I'm telling you what. I tell you what, dude. Are you laughing? You just wait, dude. You just wait. I come out the shadows, son. Ear to ear. I'm gonna catch you. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. You understand this? I hope you do. Cause you done messed up. You done made me cuss on the stream tonight too, huh? Alright. 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 Calm it down. Although, if you see me, if I go run out of here again, it's because they're gonna catch hot lead. Where are we at here? Quarter till. Alright, so let me shorten this down just a little bit. I do got trail cams. I do got them outside, but they're not. You know, understand how this place is set up. Where they shine the light from was down below, with like a big spotlight, right on my window, and there'll only be a couple people do that. I have a pretty good idea who it would be, and he's done. You don't come down through around here, messing around. Let me tell you something. Nobody would. It would only be one person, to be honest with you, and he's probably listening as he did it, because he's that big of a piece of. But if it wasn't him, I mean, who else are you gonna say? I definitely don't think it was the feds. They're gonna be sitting there spotlighting me. They just come in, guns blazing, you know. All right, man. Yeah, I should be good. Thank you, everybody. D White, TNF, everybody asking, but. I already have, John. Yeah, Gary just said it. Gary said it. Yeah. Yeah. So, imagine one of these. I'm going to keep it pushing here. One of these Hellfire missiles that they're pushing. It's a bladed Hellfire missile, and it doesn't have a bomb on it. Doesn't have an explosion. They can strike you anywhere, and it's just a bunch of blades. It chops you to pieces. So, yeah, Susie. Let's jump to the war real quick between Ukraine and Russia. To give you an update to what's happening there. Silver Sailor, thank you for that. Whoever got it, welcome to the underground. Trump, after getting into it with Zelensky, he's basically said that we're done with all the stuff with Ukraine, and he stopped the equipment from going there. They turned the stuff around mid-flight and brought it back to the United States. That's pretty crazy. That's stopping things dead in its tracks. We were kind of hoping that this would happen, bring this thing to an end. Sick of seeing war, and all the people that's died there. It's been ridiculous. I've watched young men get slaughtered there on a daily basis by drone and HD. It's been horrific, and I never show it obviously because it's horrific footage. But I have to watch through a bunch of it to see what's going on. It's some of the worst war footage I've ever seen. Guys come around corners and trenches face to face and just blow each other away, and just drones come in and drop these bombs on them, and then they look up and it's like the last thing. They get blown away, just left and right. But I would hope that some of you have been learning some of the tactics from some of these other people out there. People that got to take drones down out of the sky. What do you do if it's hunting you one day? Because you're a pureblood. Because you didn't want to get the latest jab. Huh? You're going to want to know how to take them down out of the sky, ain't you? People are going to have to sharpen up on some skills here. When all these things we talk about get turned on us, like the Hellfire missile I just talked about with blades, just drop one through your roof, chop you to pieces. No warhead on it. No explosives on it. Just this whole thing with Russia is changing pretty crazy here. Look at this. This says that the EU spent more money on Russian energy than helping Ukraine. We should have a problem with that. Because we've paid for this by and large. The EU hasn't really done nothing. Now, hold on a second. You're telling me that the EU just spent more money? They gave Russia more money than they gave Ukraine. Let me fix that for you. That's what it equates to. They just gave Russia more money than they gave Ukraine? How can that be? It's because Europe would be dead. Literally. It would froze over the winter if it did not have natural resources from Russia. That's why this world is a stage. Do you understand this? Don't fall back asleep or lull back into it once you figured it all out. The world's a stage. That's right. Europe that thinks that, NATO, Europe thinks that Russia's the big bad boogeyman. Well, the big bad boogeyman could have killed all of you already, just cut you off in the winter. We've talked about this before. If they wanted you dead, they could have just cut you off. But no. They keep you alive, but for what reason? Because the world's a freaking stage, man. Again, they're sending more money to Russia to stay alive throughout the winter and everything else than they were Ukraine. It's like, turn around and tell Zelensky that. All right, so Russia's basically saying that the sanctions got to go. If Trump's serious about all this peace talk, you could see here, Trump orders plans to drop the sanctions on Russia for relief, basically. These are huge moves, man. The way it's going, they're talking about pulling out of NATO and UN. They're saying, screw the Ukraine. Trump's all about buddying up with Russia. This could be a huge global move. Because I've always said it, and it's pretty obvious. You can't stop the United States and Russia. No one could. It's what won World War II. The last World War was this connection. No one could touch it. They still can't. No one would ever be able to. It's too dominant. It's just too dominant. And that's why they split it up all this time, to wage wars. And it's worked. They've made a ton of money. But it seems like we're entering an era where this false Prince of Peace has stepped on the scene. And they want to make all these peace negotiations, almost to fulfill prophecy and all this stuff, and to take over all this land. Now, I really see this happening. Things are changing right in front of our face. Putin agrees to mediate a nuke talk with Iran. Things are shifting rather quickly. So the big bad boogeyman, Iran, all this, Putin's willing to mediate talks here. What's this? Lawmakers join Musk in calling for the U.S. to exit NATO. Dude, that's huge. If we exit NATO, they're on their own. Europe is. That's all it is. This is like us leaving Europe. They'd be on their own. They wouldn't have no funding. They wouldn't have our war machine. They wouldn't have none of that. They'd be on their own. They'd be screwed. Against who? Against Russia? The Russia that keeps them alive throughout the winter? And how are you going to turn on Russia and the United States? They couldn't. They couldn't. They couldn't. If they wanted to wage war that way, they'd get smoked. The U.S. and Russia would smoke anyone. It would be suicide, honestly. A bunch of people would die, stupidly. I'm sure some U.S. cities in Russia would get hit with something. But, really? I don't know. It seems like they're trying to usher in this false thing of peace somehow. And it would really begin largely here with this whole deal. If Trump could usher in peace here in Ukraine, so to speak, the next spot is going to be something surrounding Israel. You watch. He's their man, right? Look at this. The Arab League has proposed a way to save Gaza. They're going to spend $53 billion to reconstruct Gaza. But because it deals with keeping Gaza there and the people there, the U.S. rejects it. Trump said it clearly. We're going to go in and clear it out. And the people are not going to return. They don't need to return. We're going to take them somewhere else. And then we're going to make it a beautiful Riviera. And all this other stuff. You think people are just going to accept that? Well, it's the move they're making. And looky here. Look at this. The Trump administration has sent $12 billion to Israel. In like what? The small amount of time he's been in office? So while everyone's looking the other way, he's just sending boatloads of cash to his boss, Netanyahu. What's this one say? Israel's preparing hell for Gaza. That can't be good. It can't be good. Come on. I mean, all the slaughtering that's happened already, and now all of a sudden you're going to say they're planning hell for Gaza? Like, what are they about to do? Just go in and start just leveling it flat out? Like, I don't know. It's pretty much torn apart. There's not much left but rubble. That's why they were at the point of talking about just bringing in bulldozers and everything. There's nothing left. It needs rebuilt, but they don't want the Palestinians to do it. They want to run them out of there. It's ridiculous. Purpose beyond self. Thank you for the coffees, man. Much love. I appreciate it, man, more than you know. China scores a 9 out of 100 when it comes to freedom. So and they're the last ones, man. They're the last. You know, if we make peace with Russia, they're instantly talking like, how's China feel about this? How are they gonna take this? Well, they're just gonna take it because I've pointed out in the past there's been it's not been all roses between Russia and China always. Border dispute stuff, other stuff in their own agendas. Russia's agenda versus the Belt and Road Initiative of China's. And it's like something has to give. Like only one of them are going to be the main connection into Europe. And right now, that is Russia. Russia's selling all the gas and all the oil, all the stuff through its pipelines into Europe. I done told you that. Keeping them alive, right? China wants that. That's what China's Belt and Road Initiative is all about, is getting all the stuff into Europe. Into Europe. It doesn't make any sense. What, the same Europe that don't like you, that wants to potentially go to war with you, is the same stupid thing. The same Europe that wants to go to war with you and Russia, it makes no sense. But yet both of you or willing to turn on each other over your own pipelines into there. It makes no sense. The world is a stage. But China's the last big bad boogeyman out there. Like, if we get attacked in America, you got to blame it on somebody. Why would Russia do it at this point? Got to take them off the table at the moment. It doesn't seem like it would be a wise, strategic move by any means at this point in the game or the conversation for Russia to do anything. I just told you how Trump just halted all cyber attacks against Russia. You can expect that they, in turn, probably did the same largely. They are making huge moves to show each other we can work things out. China will remain a threat, and they just threatened us openly. They've never threatened us like this. They just said that they will fight any type of war against us. And they will fight it to the end, whether it's economic, cyber, like a full war, it doesn't matter. That's where they're at with this. China is only China because we helped them become that and be that way. They were built up to be what they are for this very moment. So it really seems that in the end, if there's going to be some big bang war, it's definitely going to be us on one side and Chinese on the other. If there's going to be a World War III, at this point, I mean, that's where it's going. Unless Europe wants to get cocky and come against us or they want to take them on themselves, I do not see the United States as sitting on the sideline in World War III. But, stranger things have happened here. Would the United States do anything if they were EMP'd and they were put in the dark? That would remove that from the equation real quick, wouldn't it? A lot of things on the table right now, but whatever happens, I'm going to tell you, Chinese catching the blame for it. And largely, they are to blame. They are the only ones that are embedded in all of our stuff across the country, in absolutely everything. They're in telecoms, communications, our water, the electric grid. Christopher Wray said they're everywhere. And they didn't seem to bother to get them out. Didn't seem to bother to get them out, man. Thank you, Mike Z, for the coffee. Just like Trump's not bothering to get them out of the country. They are right next to our military bases. And there's probably about 1 million of them in here that slipped in over the past 4 years. Illegals. Fighting age men. All Chinese. That are going to these places. Not a word about it. Homan ain't brought them up. Homan ain't said, oh, we're going to this property down here next to the military base. There's a whole bunch of Chinese down there. Nope. Not a word. Not a word, none of it. Ragwa and this and that, and it's all black magic again. Illusion. And for my cats in the UK, much love, Daz. I know it's late out there. Cats like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., something over there. I appreciate you, Daz. Crown Jewels, obviously. All my cats over there. I seen Crown in here at the beginning. Much love, brother. It looks like their country's heading towards civil war. And their government advisors are saying as much. I shared a clip earlier that it was giving more rights to illegals than UK citizens and all this other stuff. And all this stuff is like pointing in this direction. It seems like it was all by design to begin with. Anyway, they filled these places with illegals. Same thing that happened here, but UK is way smaller, so you were going to see what they were looking for result-wise there a lot sooner. Same with Ireland, and you've seen pure chaos. You see people go through these streets of Ireland, and it looks like Jamaica or something. It's like, what? It's like, where are we at again? Like, it's not even the grassroots place it ever was when we all grew up. The heritage is gone. It's what they've done to this world. And that's what they've done to America. Yeah. I don't know. I really feel that outside of China, the biggest thing right now is what was the biggest thing they did to me in the past few years? They locked us down. They tried to force Jedi. Remember all that? Yeah. If it happens again, it's going to be the real deal. And that's the scariest thing to me. And then what happens then? What happens with Tom Homan and these strike teams? They'll be turned on anyone that doesn't show proof that they're inoculated, that they're safe. They would have to have teams to do it. What other teams would they turn to do it? There are no other. Like, it would be them. It would be his strike teams, man. All laid right out there in front of you. Anyhow, that brings this show to a close for the night. Try to check the chat here real quick. Give some final thoughts on a few things. Sorry, we had a distraction earlier, but had to handle business. Yeah, so it's probably, I don't know how long I was gone. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Be a gap in the stream, but anyone watching later, trying to make heads or tails of it, I think you can also see the chat afterwards too, so you can see what everyone's saying there and try to make heads or tails of what's going on tonight. Thank you, D. White. Thank you all the mods. Pixie, Deanne, Susie, Joe. Hope all is good. I don't know, man. Stay vigilant. You gotta stay ready at all times. That's how you gotta be, man. Just ready at all times. Like, you're not promised tomorrow, and like anything can happen at any time. So, I say stay sharp, head on a swivel, be aware of your surroundings. I pray the Most High helps any one of you out there that call upon Him. Ask for healing, forgiveness, for help. If I could help you in any way, I would. I ask God to give me those abilities. I speak it into existence. Jesus, Yeshua said we go on to do greater things than He. I think it's time somebody start to do it. Much love to all you guys, man. I'm going to sign off. I look to be back here on Friday, God willing. Take us out of here on some music from Live 1707. And if the Lord doesn't return in the coming days, I'll see you here next time for some underground world news live. Much love. Thank you, the legendary Eon. Again, it's legendary, bro. Much love.